Kamala Harris becoming the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party is big news. It's not just big news for so-called the left or liberal Black America. It's big news for Black women. Why is that? Because Kamala Harris becoming the president of the United States opens a myriad of doors for Black women. Well, what kind of doors? I'll get to that in a moment. This is why we've seen things happen like this.
Tens of thousands of other African-American women, from business to politics to Hollywood, joined a Zoom call, raising over $1 million in just 3 hours in support of the first Black and Indian American woman sitting vice president, who is now running to succeed President Biden.
Okay, that's 44,000 Black women getting on the Zoom call. We don't know where they're from, but we know they're Black women. We can assume it's African-American or hashtag FBA, but we don't know. Look at this next situation.
She's raised $81 million since yesterday, a record for 24 hours, and she's piling up the endorsements among leading Democrats.
Our vice president has been focused again on issues that Americans and individuals care about each and every day.
In a new CBS poll, the vice president has widespread Democratic support, 79% saying she should be nominated. In addition, 45% say the Democratic Party chances are better now against Trump. Only 10% said it was worse.
Vice President Kamala Harris has excited the community.
4 possible Harris running mates seem to be emerging. 3 governors, Beshear of Kentucky, Cooper of North Carolina, and Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and 1 senator, Kelly from Arizona.
And then I want you to look at this other situation.
Goldman Sachs revealed today a suite of 17 new investments, partnerships, and grants as part of its 1 Million Black Women Initiative. Launched in early 2021, Goldman's 1 Million Black Women Initiative reflects its intention to spend more than $10 billion over the next decade to advance racial equity and economic opportunity in Black women. Joining us now for more is Goldman Sachs Asset Management Global Head of Sustainability and Impact, Margaret Anadou. Margaret, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. A lot of investments here. How did you go upon selecting where you would invest?
Yes, hi, thanks for having me. So I think the selection process and really directing our efforts has probably been one of the more validating parts of the initiative. So when we announced this initiative back in March to invest $10 billion alongside $100 billion of philanthropy to narrow opportunity gaps for at least 1 million Black women over the next decade, a key part of the initiative was really listening. We knew importantly from the start that if we wanted to have a real impact on Black women and their families and their communities, that we had to put their voices at the center. And so since the last time we connected on this about 9 months ago, we've engaged with over 20,000 women in one-on-one conversations, roundtables, to really large public listening sessions. And so they have been the real source of many of the investment ideas, many of the grants that we're providing to organizations led by Black women. And so really the process has just been listening, sitting back humbly and understanding what the challenges are and importantly what the solutions are, and then putting that capital behind those great organizations and entrepreneurs. So if you look at the last situation that we saw, here you have Goldman Sachs wanting to give $10 billion to Black women. You saw the lady's name there. I believe it was Anadou. That's a Nigerian name, but she falls underneath the protection of Black women. A lot of women that grew up in America that come from someplace else can also fall in line with the Black female story from the African American community. They can say historically that they've been abused. They can say historically they have been mistreated. This is what Joy Reid talks about on MSNBC, but Joy Reid is Congolese, right? But we all know that Black women fall into that category. They don't have to be African American. They can just be Black. So why are other women from the African American community doing this? So a lot of African Americans, a lot of Black women that dislike Kamala Harris are taking shots at the fact that Kamala Harris is not a true Black American or African American or hashtag FBA. Now, this has been going on Twitter, or formerly Twitter, X, and let's read these tweets.
Founder Redemption says, I'm a true Black American woman and I will never vote for Kamala Harris. Hashtag never Kamala. You see this too for Sarai Minks. I'm a true Black American woman and I will not be voting for Kamala Harris. Hashtag Kamala Harris is not black. Hashtag Kamala is not black. Hashtag Divine9 are enemies. You also see this from Latita at Tita91. I'm a true Black American woman and I will not be voting for Kamala Harris. Sharice Lane says, my name is Sharice Lane. I'm a 25-year-old Black woman and I will not be voting for Kamala Harris this election season. Another lady says, I'm a true Black American woman and I will not be voting for Kamala Harris. Hashtag Trump 2024, hashtag MAGA. So these are women saying, I am hashtag FBA. I'm the real deal. Kamala Harris is not like us. Now think about it. They have everything to gain by sticking with this whole Black woman narrative. Black men won't benefit from Kamala Harris being president. We didn't benefit when Barack Obama became president. But Black women surely will benefit from Kamala Harris being president. All Black women. Mulattoes, Nigerian American, African American. It's going to show if a Black woman is leading the nation, surely she should be able to lead your company. She can lead your state. We've already seen a myriad of African-American female mayors. Tiffany hanging out in Dolton, Illinois. We've seen Philadelphia has a Black female mayor now. I don't know her name. There was Monique Owen in East Point, Michigan. There's Latoya Cantrell out in New Orleans, right? So we have a lot of Black women. You know, you have Fannie Willis in Fulton County, who's a DA. So we see that this is happening more, and more. But these women refuse to benefit off of the Kamala Harris hype. They feel disrespected. They feel that Kamala Harris is cosplaying them or pretending to be them in order to get the vote. And this is what we're talking about now. We went through this whole thing with Obama the last time, identity politics. Now, what we're seeing is identity politics being played again, the same way that Barack Obama did this in church.
Sing praise, how sweet the sound.
Again, let's sing Amazing Grace at a Black church. All the Black folks get happy. And then at the end of all of that, you don't get anything for your vote. This is what Kamala Harris is trying to do. She's trying to undermine the community. And now you're seeing people from the African American community say, no, we don't even want those trinkets, because immediately what you're going to see is when all those other people can come in and claim Black women, those Black women will get replaced. All right. Let me just say, for an example, I'm living here in Uganda. I'm Black like Ugandans. Okay. Should I be able to benefit from what Ugandans have? No, I shouldn't. Even if I was a citizen, I shouldn't. I should be able to get civil liberties, but I shouldn't be able to attach myself to their story. And Kamala Harris is attaching herself to our story, right? Other people are attaching themselves to our story. However, when that happens, you get replaced inside of the story. This is what people are afraid of. This is what people are fearful of. Okay? And this is why Kamala Harris is dangerous. Now, again, we are a Pan-African channel and we should bring our people together. And all of our people have injustices that need to be repaid or returned to justice from different places. However, it is one thing to understand who you are in that story. And our stories are different. My story is different than anybody else. And I actually applaud these ladies for what they're doing. They don't want Kamala Harris and other people to wipe them out from the story that their ancestors fought from, especially when they don't like you. Now, again, I'm not saying this is all the Black women. I'm talking about Kamala Harris. Okay? A lot of women are supporting Kamala Harris based on the fact that she's Black. Even Black women in America, African American women. All right? They're not looking at any political strategies. They're just seeing the opportunity that it will help them as a black woman, and technically it will to a certain degree, until you get replaced in the story by another element. And we've seen it in Black America before. The brown and black or black and brown coalition, the civil rights. Then you get replaced with the LGBTQ and the trans agenda, allegedly, and all of these different things. Then all of a sudden, you are at the bottom of the totem pole. Then the migrant crisis happens, and then you're back at the bottom of the totem pole after all of these things were supposed to help you, and they didn't help you. In every generation, you're literally getting poorer as a community. Every generation, you're really struggling more as a community, and everybody else is coming up, and then those people make fun of you for being at the bottom. It's all policy. Okay? We need to make a stand to say, no, Kamala Harris ain't us. It ain't because of that she's Jamaican and half white. It's that she don't think with the same mind that we think. I don't care what you say. Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte, we know they had their thing for white women, right? But in the civil rights movement, Harry Belafonte, who was a Caribbean, gave a lot of money, supported our cause. Sidney Poitier too. I don't think anybody could ever not claim him in our story because he's a part of our story. Malcolm X had an African-American mother, I believe, an African-American father with a mother from Guyana. Nobody would ever say what's going on with him. Louis Farrakhan, bro, I got a video coming for you. But before you made a comment, it will be easy to say that nobody would classify Minister Farrakhan as being a Caribbean only when he was born to two Caribbean parents in the Boston area. But his work speaks for our community. That's why he's respected. But when you're a Kamala Harris individual and you're a person like that and you don't care about the community and your actions say that, you cannot be included. You're enemy of progress and you gotta be called out. For you to go to Howard University and say, well, I went to HU, but I don't feel like you deserve reparations. But you're cosplaying as an African-American, you're pretending to be one. That needs to be called out. And kudos to these women because momentarily they would have something to gain. Although I believe it would lose it in the long run. They want to keep their lineage like anybody else in the African black world wants to keep their lineage. Like the Igbos want to keep their lineage. I don't see anything wrong with that. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of It's Fair Use. I'm out.